Hello and welcome back to art class. What we're going to do today is we're going to be working with something called texture. Texture is all about how something feels, right? So if you were touching something with your finger, it might feel smooth, or it might feel rough, right? Or it might feel soft like a teddy bear. When we're talking about art and texture though, a lot of times we're just looking at a picture and we can't actually touch it. So we have to think about what it would feel like if the object was real, because it's only a picture of the object. And that's what we call visual texture. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to create some visual textures. You should have already looked at my example and hopefully have visited the website with talking about Zentangles. They use a lot of different textures in the Zentangles to create their interesting designs. So we're going to use some of that information to create our own picture. So this first piece of paper, what we're going to need is just a few items. You're going to need a pencil. You may want an eraser. If you got an eraser on the back of your pencil, that's fine. The paper. A ruler sometimes is handy, sometimes not, depending on what your texture is going to be. And you may even want to have a second piece of paper handy just in case you want to have a fresh piece of paper when we do the second part of this. So the first part of this is a practice sheet that I will need you to take a picture of and send to me so that I know that you got this part done. Okay. This first part is pretty easy. What I'm going to have you do is actually turn the paper this way. You're going to fold it long skinny ways like this. It's what we call the hot dog bun fold. Open it up, okay, and you're just going to draw a line right down the middle. Okay. Then what I need you to do is you're going to divide this up into 6 spaces. So you're going to try to figure out right about where the middle is, okay, and we're going to put a line a little bit above that point and a little bit below that point. That way I have 6 spaces. And what I need you to do is now you're going to go in and give me 6 different textures. Okay, so here's an example of one. If you want something to be spiky, you may have something that looks like this. It's very pointed edges, makes it look kind of like a puffer fish if you've ever seen one of those. Okay, so there would be one texture. Another texture could be repeated wavy lines. Next we could have, let's have rounded oval shapes. It could be something a little bit more dramatic, like dragon scales. You could have something kind of like a grassy texture. Textures are often just repeated shapes or lines. They often look a lot like patterns as well. And then this one could be my wood texture. Like that. So now I have my practice sheet. Okay. Next, the next step is to create our image. We're going to make something pretty easy, but that would make it easy to do a texture. So we can flip over the piece of paper, or you could get your second piece of paper piece, depending on if your paper looks okay or not. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. And what I'm going to do is we're going to be using a cup and we're going to use a circle that the cup has the bottom here, and we're going to make a caterpillar. And so I'm going to use the bottom here, and I'm going to trace it. We'll start on this side, and we're going to want to trace it about 5 times. Your position of your caterpillar is kind of up to you. You do need to overlap them. You can see how I have my circles slightly overlapped. And it's not a perfectly straight line because I don't want it to be perfectly straight. Ooh, I messed up that part right there. Let me fix that. There we go. And I'm going to have one sticking up. Like so. Okay. And I'm going to give one end is going to be the head, so I need to give it some antenna. Give it an eye and a mouth because he's looking this way. And then I'm going to give it a leaf to be on. This is the center of the leaf. Like that. It's the vein that goes right up the center of the leaf. And then this leaf is going to go behind my caterpillar. And even notice that my leaf happens to go off the edge. I could change it and make it go right on the edge. In fact, I'm going to do that. I think it looks a little bit better with it going right to the edge like that. And then I'm also going to go ahead and give him some feet. I'm going to give him 2 legs per section of body here. Legs you can kind of draw as your own. And for right now, that is where we'll stop for today. If you would like, you can add in another piece up here. So for me, I think it looks a little blank up here. So what I'm going to do is actually real quick, I'm going to put a leaf going over here. But maybe you got a branch coming over here or something else, but just something to kind of break up that big space. Next week, what we'll do is we're going to go in and kind of add some textures to different areas using some other materials besides just a pencil. So we're going to give this a little bit of color next week. What I need you to do is get the practice sheet, done the 3 different textures, or excuse me, 6 different textures, and take a picture of that, send it to me. And I need you to get this drawn out, to get a picture of that and send it to me. And that way I can just see that you've completed this part of the project. And then the following week we will continue on with doing the textures and colors. I will see you next week.